Director of the observatory here, and I would like to welcome you all to our open house. The reason for the celebration is that it's our 40th birthday. On the 20th of June in 1960, this observatory was open, so we're 40 years old. For 40 years we have been pushing the frontiers of science here, supporting Canadian astronomy. And for 40 years we have been hosted by a wonderful community here in the South Okanagan, and for many years we have felt an obligation to give something back to our community. We do that in a number of ways. One way that we give something back is through events like this. Last year we had 1,100 people here seeing what we do. We hope this year to have even more. Another way we give back to the community is through helping with education. We have 1,500 young people come through this facility every year in school groups. For some of them it's their first chance to see a real scientist somewhere other than on the television screen. And we provide career programs for students. We hire university students and provide a significant part of their training, and we have graduate students here pursuing master's degrees and doctorates in engineering and science, and some of Canada's leading scientists have done part of their work here. To help us celebrate this event, we have first and foremost all of you here, but we have a few representatives of the provincial government, the Legislative Assembly, let me say, the City of Penticton, the City of Oliver, and our federal MP is represented as well, and we have the President of the Canadian Astronomical Society. I will very briefly call upon them in order to say a few words, and then we'll cut the cake. So first up I'll call on Bill Barris, the MLA for Okanagan Boundary.
Thanks very much, Tom, and first of all I'd like to say it's great to see this many people out here, and I was invited to partake in the 40th anniversary of what I call the White Lake Observatory, being born and raised in this area. But you know, the buzzword around the province or around the country seems to be high tech. And when you think that this is the 40th anniversary, we've had high tech in the South Okanagan for a long time. And I think this is something that we all should endeavor to support and make sure that it continues in this direction. And I know that I was just talking to Tom, and they got some real innovative ideas of some things to come and what's going to happen here. But this truly is high tech, and it's a real benefit to the South Okanagan. So on behalf of the residents of South Okanagan and Okanagan Boundary, I congratulate the White Lake Observatory. I was going to say the Dominion. I don't want to go through that because I know it's the White Lake Observatory, but I congratulate the White Lake Observatory and what they've done, and in opening it up to the people of residents of the South Okanagan, in fact all the Okanagan and all of British Columbia, because it truly is a marvel to see when you understand what's taking place here, and it really is a benefit to all of us in the South Okanagan and British Columbia. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Bill. You raised the subject of our name. We are really, and most significantly, part of the National Research Council of Canada, which is that arm of the federal government which supports university research and industrial research. As one of the ways in which we are also giving back to the community is through helping companies in the Okanagan, and we hope that as you tour around you will have an opportunity to look at the display inside the tent where we show some of the work we're doing with companies, and to talk with the representatives of the other National Research Council program, IRAP, which also supports industry in the Okanagan. Now I'll call on Richard Toews, who is representing our MP, Stockwell Day, who unfortunately was not able to be here today. Richard.
Thank you, Tom. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Stockwell Day, of course the latest member of of Parliament, the Leader of the Official Opposition. I bring you greetings from Ottawa. I'd just like to take a second to thank Tom and the many staff here for opening up this facility today for all of us to come and see what the future is going to bring us. Like Mr. Barris' office has already mentioned, we've had high-tech here for 40 years. I've lived in Summerland just about all my life, and I must confess, this is the first time I've been on this site. I've driven by it many times, but I hope that you're able to take in all of the events that are here. There's lots of information spread around the whole grounds. Nathaniel and I have had the opportunity to see a fair amount of it already. So I hope you get that opportunity too, and I really commend the staff for opening this up. Thank you very much.
Now it's my pleasure to call upon Mike Pierce, His Worship the Mayor of Penticton.
Thanks, Tom. I'm glad that I heard about a new name for this place, or an old name today, because with Stockwell Day running, they kept phoning from all over Canada asking, well, what will you be looking for him to do? And try saying Dominion Astrophysical Observatory, because they're not really interested in that name anyway, so they wanted a buzzy name, so now I have it. So as chairman of the Regional Economic Development, which handles the entire regional district area, it has been one of our focuses and will continue to be one of our focuses to get in the face of anybody and anything that can bring some more assets to this particular facility, be it in personnel, be it in money. And Stockwell Day is one of our targets now. For that, as somebody that can go there and bring back the goods, because so often when we're looking for economic development, we search far afield when we really have the assets in our backyard. 80% of your growth in economic development comes from existing assets that you have. So the pledge that I want to share with the staff here, with Tom, and with the rest of the staff that works so hard, and the message I want to deliver here today is that we are fully aware now through their efforts of what this facility has to offer for this region, what is in the future for this facility, and now that we have Mr. Day as a target, one of the first discussions we'll be having with him is let's get serious about this place, and let's send that message right through to the key areas in Ottawa now that he's moved into his new residence. So thank you, Tom, for taking the opportunity for having myself and my family out here today, and I know we'll go for a tour so that we can get boned up a bit better, and I look forward to sharing the rest of the day and talking to some of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. One of the things that we have enjoyed through those 40 years is the support of municipal government, both in Penticton and in all the communities of the South Okanagan, and that support has come to us through good times and bad. For that we are very grateful. I would like to call on Linda Larson, Her Worship Mayor of Oliver.
Thank you very much for the invitation this morning. I have had the pleasure of being here before for one of the open houses, and it is, no matter even that I've had a tour, I still didn't understand any of it. And so we'll try again today and see if any of it sticks. But I think that's a common problem for all of us who are not involved in this type of function in science like this, is the understanding of it, and therefore support for these types of scientific research are very hard to come by from the general public. From municipal government, we have been supporting as best we can with letters, etc., to the various different areas of government for facilities like this, and will continue to do so. I understand this is still the only operating radio telescope in Canada. Okay, and also the tracking of the solar events that affect satellite systems today, especially as I mentioned with high tech, is absolutely crucial. So the work that's done here is very, very important. And I'd like to congratulate the staff and everybody here for opening their doors and letting all of us non-scientific people come and have a look at this type of facility, and I wish them well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Larson. It's a pleasure to have Ed Sims here, who is the representative for this area on the regional district. Ed has been instrumental in having the regional district interested in the zoning of the land around here to protect our operations. Ed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Landecker. I would like everyone to join me in wishing this White Lake Observatory a happy 40th birthday. Happy birthday. I would like to kind of explain my perspective of this observatory. Having known some of the people that work here, have worked here most of their professional lives. Some of these people retire and they don't go away. They just keep coming back here to work. That's the kind of a installation we have here. People love it. And I think it's an asset to our communities that we should all be very proud of. Tom talked about some good times and some bad times. And some of us will remember a few years ago when the federal government suggested there would be no more funding for this White Lake Observatory. Some people did a lot of work and convinced Ottawa that we needed it. It was good for the White Lake area, it was good for the Penticton Oliver area, it was good for British Columbia, and it was good for Canada. I commend those people that did that, and I wish them all the very best in the future. Tom has talked this morning about some very, very energetic projects that are coming online, and I wish that all of us can be here to see what they're going to do in the future. The Mayor of Penticton talked about economic development. I guess this is probably the greatest economic booster that we have in our area. And together, let's all support it and wish them all the very best and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ed. And last, just before the cake, I'd like to call on Dr. Russ Tyler from the University of Calgary. Russ is a long-time user of the observatory and the principal investigator on our largest scientific project, the Canadian Galactic Plane Survey, and Russ is the president of the Canadian Astronomical Society. Russ.
Thank you, Tom. It's a great personal pleasure to be able to come here and share the 40th anniversary of the radio astronomy activities here at White Lake. And I'd like to pass on the congratulations of our colleagues at from across Canada. Congratulations to you and to the staff. I'd like to say a few words about the importance of this facility. Canadian astronomers all across Canada have benefited immensely from having access to a homegrown Canadian radio telescope, and over the last 40 years, and we hope to continue to benefit from the presence of that telescope here. And not only have we benefited from the ability to be able to observe the sky with this telescope, but also from the opportunity to work with people who are able to take high technology like telecommunications, electronics, information processing, and turn that into telescopes that work and that you can use to probe the heavens. It's been a tremendous boost for Canadian astronomy. And today is actually has special significance for me, because one of the other important aspects of this observatory is the opportunity to train the next generation of scientists and technologists and engineers. And it was 23 years ago this year that I came here as a fresh graduate student from the University of British Columbia to learn to do radio astronomy. And my supervisor at UBC was quite poor in his grant, and this was before there was accommodations for visiting scientists over in the house over there. And so my supervisor bought me a small trailer and parked it right over there under that telescope. This trailer had a bed in it that was about 6 inches shorter than I am. And so I spent many wakeful nights listening to the whir and clank of that telescope as it observed my region of the sky. And that summer, not only did I get introduced into the technology of building instruments to drive telescopes and writing computer programs, but I also got introduced to rattlesnakes in ways that I would not wish on anybody. But it was a memorable experience, and those memories have stayed with me all through my professional life, and I know that there are many other astronomers across Canada who also have warm memories of this observatory. It does stay in your heart through your whole life. And I want to wish the best to the staff and the director for the next 40 years. And I know that the White Lake Observatory, the Dominion Radio Astrophysical Observatory, will stay in the forefront of radio astronomy in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. I'm not sure whether he's just too tall for this microphone or whether it stopped working. Perhaps he's just too tall. And now the part we've all been waiting for. We will now call on 3 levels of government to cooperate in cutting this cake. And Russ Tyler as well.
We all get along.
We'll see which level of government can cut more effectively. There are 2 instruments. I have no... one vertically, I really don't...
Sort of all join hands here.
Yes, Richard, come forward.
That's it.
Hold hands.
Yeah, everybody hold hands, that's it. There we go.
Super.
Perfect. Look at that.
Who got the biggest piece?
I think we did a straighter job than you guys did.
Do that one more time.
Okay.
Okay, again. Slice.
There we are.
There we go.
Okay, now, can we get down to real business and cut it up and eat it? Thank you.
Now, Linda, that's your job. Doing a great job, Linda.
Hi Dennis, can I borrow you too? I'll just use this as the microphone. I'll get you both on here.
Okay. Go all the way. Very good idea.
Yeah, thank you for all this help.
Maybe we can start.
It really needs that.
Here you go. Cutting was one thing, getting it onto the plate is something else.
I want the
Around here, thank
I
you.
want the one with the chocolate.
I'm a good helper.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much.
I do help them.
Yes, I did.
Good boy. Good.
That's where all the sugar is. Okay. Pass them out there.
Okay. Let's go get it.
Where do you want me, Daddy?
Once that I came in, oh, you got one close on something.
That's right.
Thank you. See?
That was really difficult. You know how hard it is to sit there with that needle?
Yeah,
You're only supposed to have half.
they're filming you eating that cake. Let's go get a hot dog.
Only half the people get points, I guess. One in each family.
And after this,
That was really hard.